Welcome to North Pacific Cannery. If you've made it to this video, you obviously enjoyed the main episode, so I thank you for that. And I'm excited to say that Destination Adventure has been given a full access pass to the entire facility, and that just was not going to fit in the main episode. But there's lots of cool stuff to see here. So I'm gonna take you guys for a tour, kind of show you the layout of the place and some of the behind the scenes secrets and some of the things that are not open to the public. So let's get into it. This whole area was First Nations housing. There was more than 100 of these houses. And when the facility shut down, they floated most of them out into the channel and burnt them. Kind of a funny story, 2 of them didn't catch fire. They floated away, and they floated to the end of the channel here and beached up on shore. Last year we accidentally found them, not knowing what they were. I don't know why these little houses are out here, but they appear to be full of garbage. But these are tiny little houses. Little kitchen here, table, and then there was 2 double beds, one on either side. Not sure why they didn't go with bunk beds, but there was 6 to 12 people living in each one of these. Lots of cuddling. This is maybe my favorite building on the whole property. It's a 2-parter. This is the machine shop. The first thing I noticed that was really cool. This is a battery. Look at that thing. Made it of glass. What I love about the machine shop is it's pretty much just left the way that it was before. Some old Vivian boat motors. And you guys would have seen this in the main episode. This is the part of the machine shop that is still fully functional, which is really cool. You can see all the parts, everything still labeled. All these old manuals and parts books. All kinds of stuff. Pretty darn neat. Actually, there's one thing in the back here that I keep forgetting to film, so let's just go do it right now. Look at these old outboards. So cool. All kinds of makes and models and different years. This is neat. They've sealed up most of these, but there's your garbage and bathroom. The tide's all the way, it's pretty much slack low right now, but at high tide the water's almost in the building here. If anybody knows what these are, Heather has found them and is not really sure what they are. So if you know, let us know. All kinds of old carburetors, a stack of pistons. Brings us to the Net Loft. It's pretty crazy. This building, the whole thing, top, bottom, everything, was floated here in 1936 or 37. Can't remember. But what an undertaking that would have been. Great big building like this. There's a bluestone tank. These would have been out on the working dock, actually. But that's what was used to dye the nets, the color of the river. Pretty darn cool. All those old ropes still hanging up there from when they would store the nets in the wintertime. Some of these canneries would run all year long. North Pacific only ran for about 5 months per year, and then the rest of the year was just in storage. One of the big projects they've done here is they've replaced the wood on the entire working deck here, which is really amazing. That'll extend the lifespan of this facility long, long ways. Like that old boat. I'm sure in its working days this was a pretty bustling little place, but it's hard not to appreciate the beauty of it now. Right on the river. You can look right through to the river. Let's take a look in here. We'll start down here at the end. You're gonna notice there's a bunch of Halloween stuff in here because they're doing like a spooktacular event. But this is where all the actual canning happened. I wonder, I should have asked about this. I wonder if this goes back to before things were automated. I wonder if that's a kiln to cook and seal the cans. There's all kinds of machinery and equipment all through this place from all the different eras. See, this is where the Halloween event will be happening. That's the whole section where the canning happened. You guys would have seen that in the main episode, but we'll go upstairs. There's some pretty neat stuff up here. Look at all those cans. They made their own cans here, and they actually made cans for a lot of the other canneries as well. Most canneries did not make their own, but that's what this big chunk of something is for. This is fully operational, actually. They don't run it because there's bats up here. They don't want to bother the bats. So this area is closed to public for the tours. And at the end, there's a couple big storage, I guess we'll just call them warehouses. All kinds of relics in there, so we'll take a little peek. If you guys remember the video from Whittier, Alaska, this flashlight occasionally has some terrible strobing. Wow, that's cool. That's glass. All this new old stock. Wild. Look at that. Friggin' radar. Wow. Very cool. Totally missed this when I walked by. These are all fish hooks. And fishing gear. Boxes and boxes of them. So this is, I mean, it's used for storage, but this was the European Net Loft. It's the other of the two remaining Net Lofts. I think a lot of the stuff in this one is just items that people have donated over the years. They're trying to expand this place more and more every year. So whenever someone donates stuff, Heather never throws it away or anything. They even have a whale. Interesting. There's one more thing that's an absolute must-see in this building, but it's all the way down at the end. Look at this. This has all been donated by a local gentleman. And I brought a loonie with me. So this is a new addition to the facility here, and 3 loonies will get you 10 minutes of operation. And if we continue down, the one on this side is free. So cool though. When I'm old and ready to retire, this will be my hobby. One of the things I love most about this building, or this whole facility, is this building. Just the look of the old windows, the paint stripping off, and the color scheme. These here are the holding tanks and the oil reduction plant. Won't go in there, it's just used for storage now. But it is an interesting building. It used to have a huge diesel generator in there, or a big diesel engine anyways. And it shook so much, they actually cemented the floor in that building. So when I was first walking through there, I thought it was not on pilings, but sure enough, she's on pilings. Just a cement floor. There's a heron down there at the water. So this was the manager's house, then the assistant manager's house, and then those 3 were European housing. You can see the Europeans were treated by far the best. A portion of the manager's house is currently being worked on. So you'll see some tools and whatnot in here. And at some point in time, this was a dark room. Pretty nice little place though. This right here is the company office, and I did about 10 minutes of beachcombing my first day here, and I went under the office. I found all kinds of stuff. I found 2 coins, an earring, a copper lighter, all kinds of cool things. This is the company store. And there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. One thing that's on display here that's not entirely correct is all the salmon. I'm sure this is here just to show you the different labels. But one thing that was never sold in the company store, coincidentally, was canned salmon. This is a butcher block. Look at this thing. She's seen some use. This one right here was the Net Boss's house. And the best part about the Net Boss's house look at this. Tiny little balcony right on the riv. We'll do a quick little backtrack here and take a look in one of these European houses. Haven't seen in here yet. Wow. Pretty darn nice, actually. Not sure how many people would be living in here. Several anyways. And this one here is the watchman's house. This is the railman's house. Look at the size of that salmon. Holy smokes. Lots of history in this one. Cool. This is the European bunkhouse. Not sure if this one will be locked, but pretty cool. It is locked, but you can actually stay in this house in the summertime when they're in operation. There's a whole bunch of rooms in here that you can stay in, and apparently number 10 right up there is haunted. That's the cafe, or mess house, I guess you would say. This one is known as the triplex. It was built after the war as self-contained housing for the employees. And then that brings us into the Japanese section. Almost all of the Japanese section is gone. This is the Shikitani house. And this last building is known as the Japanese bunk house, or the Miki house, because the Miki family lived here. And there's some really cool stuff inside this one. Look at this old traditional Japanese bath. This is really cool. The longtime viewers of the show know that I love Japanese culture, so it's nice to see stuff like this, like that old bathhouse. the woman that I interviewed for this video, she's the one that did all this origami. And you can see the boardwalk running along. I'm not sure how far it would have gone, but that would have been all Japanese housing down there. That's the whole facility. I want to give a great big thanks to Heather here at the cannery for giving me access to this. That would have been the Net Loft, the Japanese Net Loft there. But unfortunately it was past salvage by the time this was turned into a museum and then a historic site. But that's all of it. Thanks for watching, everybody.